Hey, what's going on guys? Mixuba here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at a Dimir Snow control deck for standard best of one. So if you guys have been following my channel for any amount of time, you probably know that I really love Dimir control, and I found a shell that I'm really happy with in this standard. So I'm going to be using that shell, which if you guys check out my previous Dimir control videos, you will see a lot of the same cards, but I mean, we have a very similar card set because it's a pretty small standard, but I'm going to be testing out a Snow mana base to take advantage of two pretty powerful Dimir Snow cards in Graven Lore, which is 3 blue blue Snow instant, Scry X, where X is the amount of Snow spent to cast this card, then draw 3 cards. So at its absolute best, this card is a Scry 5 draw 3, which is pretty solid. And in this deck, we like to hold up our mana quite often. So if your opponent doesn't give you anything to counter, you can always just Graven Lore at instant speed and draw a crap ton of cards. I saw a Dimir Snow list running 4 of this and it was doing really well, but that was in a best of 3 tournament setting. In best of 1, the meta is hyper aggressive, so I don't know how often we're going to be able to actually resolve our 5 mana draw 3. Although it will be a solid reload in the later game, I want to keep it at a lower amount. And our other snow payoff is Blood on the Snow. So I've played with this card before. It is choose one, either destroy all creatures or all planeswalkers. I think we're going to be destroying all creatures more often, but I like the fact that it has the flexibility. And then you can return a creature or planeswalker with CMC X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of snow you spent to cast the spell. So I've made a video with a mono black snow control deck where we exploited this, but in this deck we're going to be exploiting it a lot more. We have creatures with powerful ETBs like Solemn Simulacrum and Atrice, as well as powerful planeswalkers like Ashiok that we can recur after sweeping the board just to get a crazy amount of card advantage. So I'm really happy with the Snow Splash, and the mana base isn't too bad. We lose out on the Triomes, and instead we're running Ice Tunnel, which is okay. The land types are still included on this card, which is great. We have Castle and other castle that enter untapped. So it's not that much of a downgrade. I mean, the only swap is really cycling for snow type on the land. The rest of the deck is fairly standard. I'm going to go through it really quickly. Exile the yard, draw some cards, gain some life. Cheap stay alive, removal spell, we are best of one. Counter your opponent's creatures. I love for disruption. Your opponent has to respect it as long as you play one as a tap land or counter at least one spell. Negates, very main deckable, counter ultimatums, counter adventure sides of creatures, cleaves, all that good stuff. Hold it open while you hold open removal and card draw. Omen, draw some cards, blink it with Yorion. Take out anything that doesn't have counters on it. Take out anything bigger. Take out anything that does have counters on it, and take out anything bigger with counters. Sorry, just getting my explanations mixed up. But that's why the 4-2 split, because this hits more low curvy things, this hits bigger things, but counters are a problem for the deck, and Eliminate solves that problem. Draw some cards, gain some life, set up your draws. Destroy a cheap thing, hate on their hand, exile a card, amazing, especially against rogues. Counter a spell. Sometimes you just need to. Cosima, I've explained why I play one in these decks before. Against control mirrors, if you can resolve this and then remove it, it's a stupid source of card advantage. And I never really want to be drawing more than one. The Omen Keel isn't exactly a card I want to crew, so we're just going with one Cosima. Event, sweep the board, only 2 because we do have Blood on the Snow. And I've pretty much covered the other cards. Ugin, wipe the board, take over the game, and 1 Shark Typhoon, because as long as you cycle 1, your opponent has to play around it for the rest of the game. We are running Crawling Barrens instead of Faceless Haven, which I thought I'd mention. It's because we are a grindier, long game, drawn-out control deck, and I don't think that attacking for 4 over and over again is going to be worth it, where we can pump the Barrens with a lot of mana that this deck accrues over the course of a long game. Yorion Companion, it's pretty much free, and we have a couple blinkables like Elspeth's Nightmare. Ooh, been playing a bit of that card. Conquers Death, sorry. Omens, Tomes, draw some cards, reset them back to 0 counters, and you can blink these for powerful ETBs. So sorry about the shaky intro, guys. It's been a long day for me, but if you guys like the deck, be sure to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing. It really motivates me to make more content. And let's climb some ladder. I really need to get to Mythic right now. I've been screwing around way too much. Let's get into the games, guys. Okay, hand is fine. We're gonna need a bit more mana, but honestly, when don't we? Ice Tunnel enters tapped, but because of Island Swamp, this will enter untapped. So that's what feels good. Alright, we draw untapped land, so I kind of just want to foretell this onto, because we are against another Yorion deck, and I do need to hit my 4th land. Alright, we're going to hold off on playing the Disruption, because that actually might come in handy. Maybe it can hit an ultimatum. But if we don't draw land next turn, I will play it tapped. So we have Solemn Simulacrum on 4. Okay. Yep, this is going to come down tapped. And we can pass and chill with Sot coming open. At least we have a bunch of ramp in the form of these Solemn Simulacrums. We don't have to be super stressed about countering something till turn 7. I mean, the opponent might get a bit of incremental advantage, but we're really not scared of that. And we are scared of big ultimatum. But who knows, they might not even be on the ultimatum version. Alright, let's get to land 5. See if this even resolves. It might get disrupted. Resolves, good. We already have 2 blues, so I'll get another black source. Okay. We can play Ashiok next turn. Opponent goes for another Omen. Alright, against the Sultai deck, we actually have a mana advantage, which feels really good. And look at these gorgeous Simulacrum arts that were in the store today. Just love to see it. So, binding the old gods? I mean, it's possible. I'm not opposed to that, though. We get to draw a card. Opponent's thinking about it. At least I think they are. It would make sense. The deck typically has it on curve. Buys Yorion. Okay. Do we counter a Yorion? I don't think so. So, play land. Why did the opponent... Oh, the opponent had one too many cards in hand? Interesting. Let's get in 2 points of damage. So, what do we want to do? Do we want to keep building up our mana? Or do we want to get some more card advantage? Opponent might play Yorion next turn, so maybe I want to keep Disruption open. So, okay, we're going to play a Treese, and if we see untapped land, we'll take it. And then hold open the Disruption. Because if they're just going for that on 5, then it's an easy counter. Opponent probably knows I have Sot coming. Alright, let's take this, because we know there's an untapped land there. Opponent drops off the Ugin. I actually think I am happier with these 2 cards anyways. I mean, obviously Ugin's great, but I don't really want to tap out for it. And if opponent does tap out for Yorion, we do have 5 damage a turn, which is a relatively real clock. Alright, what's it going to be? Are they going to try to bait my Sot coming? Every time I see Sultai, I just assume it's an ultimatum version, although it could just be standard Sultai control like I prefer. But alas, that is very rare. And you guys are seeing the power of Jwari's Disruption right here. Opponent knows I play it. Opponent also knows I probably foretold the Sot coming. Ooh, binding. Okay. That's fine. They're going to take up my Treese. Uh-huh. Playing around the Jwaris. We have a negate too. Okay, so we probably just want to slam the other Simulacrum. Don't want to tap out for Ashiok, or not tap out, but tap to 1. So we're going to play the Simulacrum. Keep building up our mana. And I actually will play this tapped. Alright, now Ugin is a live draw. And if we get to the point in the game where we can start playing Ashiok and hold open counter magic, we're feeling pretty good about ourselves. Also, we do play the Ruins there. 1, we want to hit our land drop. 2, if they have untapped land, which they do, then Yorion gets around it. So we can saw it coming the Yorion and then still have negate for the ultimatum that may or may not be coming. Opponent is on Triome, so I actually do think this is the ultimatum version. Only real hint that we have to believe that, but just based on ladder experience, it would not surprise me in the slightest. Extinction Event, eh? That kind of blows. But these simulacrums did get value, so we can't be too upset. They just don't get as much value as I would have wanted. So what now? We play Ashiok and pass. No stick. And let's just plus. Let's make a nightmare. Hold open, saw it coming, and negate. We'll see what the opponent has. Eliminate my token, that's fine. Let's try to push this thing to ultimate. Creatures gain Death Touch, very good. Seagate Restoration. Saw it coming or negate? Let's negate. It might cause them to wait on an ultimatum a bit longer. And we do have more card advantage in the deck, we just need to hit it. Alright, all this removal is not ideal. It's not where we want to be. So we push the Ashiok token again. We'll buy Yorion. And hold open Castle Scry and Saw It Coming, along with, I guess, Heartless Act, but I doubt we're going to have something in Heartless Act. Although, if they play the Yorion, I don't think I can afford to counter it. They go for another Seagate Restoration. Well, I mean, I can ultimate Ashiok. How much do I care about all these cards? It's gonna suck. Okay. Well, if I do this, I can't scry. Which is not exactly what I want. They get to draw 5 cards. I think I have to counter this. So I'll put an upkeep stop. I might scry for a counterspell. That's so bad, though. I mean, it taps 5 of my lands. I'll be left with 4 mana. Maybe I do it. Okay, we're gonna upkeep scry for a counterspell. I can't lose to ultimatum. And pays off. We actually do find it. So, let's start by attacking. We'll see what we hit. Eliminate and Tome. Tome isn't bad. Like, at all. But I think we still have to wait. And I'll foretell the Saw It Coming. To make sure it can't get hit by hand hate. And we'll pass. I'm not going to counter the Yorion. I'm just going to Heartless Act it. If it resolves. And the fact that we have these 2/3s, yeah, no, that's going to resolve. They're playing around counter magic really well, and now that they know I have this Saw It Coming, there's no reason for them to play into it. Especially when they have decent plays like this. But we're not too scared of the Yorion. They get to draw 2 cards, we just get to kill it. I suppose we'll do it after they scry and stuff. They know we have the Heartless Act, but let's actually force them to go to their end step. And if we get a couple attacks in with these Ashiok tokens, then they'll have a bigger exile zone. So Ashiok's ultimate seems a lot better. Right now it just gets a tome, and that's not exactly where we want to be, sorry. So, we'll do this. Destroy target creature with no counters on it. So all in all, even though we upkeep scryed there, pretty happy with the result. And they Jwaris me. Alright, fair. Fair enough. So, do I want to Extinction Event for Odd first? Just to get some clean attacks in? I suppose I do. I don't know what else this is really going to hit. I mean, it could hit a Coma, but a lot of decks don't even play it. Odd. Okay. And let's get in some attacks. Put them to 10. Oh. Oh. Oh, baby. They're the ultimatum version. Okay. Let's minus. I will take your... I don't even know if I can cast the Tybalt side off this, honestly. I will take your Ultimatum. I will take your Tybalt. Oh, we can. Very good. And I suppose I will take Yorion or Tome. Let's get Tome. Let's get some cards. Alright, so we get to search for some monocolored cards. What do we want? We get to cast them right away. So, I guess Shark Typhoon isn't bad. Not a bad fetch. Elspeth's Nightmare can get into their hand, so that's not bad either. And, I mean, my deck's not an ultimatum deck, so I don't exactly have the most powerful hits. I guess a Gravenlore to draw some more cards. Alright. So what you gonna give me, opponent? Oh, this is the best feeling ever. We get to take their ultimatum. A lot of decks just don't come prepared for the Ashiok, I'm telling you. And after that, we still get to plus the Tybalt. So, one thing at a time. We get Gravenlore and a Elspeth's Nightmare, which next turn will get into their hand, so it forces them to play an ultimatum. We don't get to scry because technically we didn't cast it, but we'll start here. Give me some cards. Verdict and Eliminate are kind of whatever. So how much mana do I really need this turn? I need 1, 2 for the Saw It Coming, 2 for Heartless Act if I want, and then 1 to play around Disruption. So we can play this tapped. Alright. I could have also... maybe I should have played on tap land to do Saw It Coming, Heartless Act, and draw a card off Tome, but I don't think all of that's going to come up. So yeah, I think I should have played on tap land. Maybe it will come back to bite me, maybe it won't, but... Shadow's Verdict, that's fine. No stress, man. Sorry. Hey, maybe I should splash for Tybalt. I've actually been considering it in my Dimir decks, just pseudo Grixis, and the opponent scoops it up. So, alright. I honest to God believe they have an ultimatum in their hand, but they can't cast it because they know we foretold a Saw It Coming, which is the only foretell card they've seen. I think they technically should have gone for it if they do have an ultimatum, because we might have been bluffing the Saw It Coming, and they know next turn we're taking it. So, I mean, I don't get to see if I'm right on the prediction, but honestly, this felt really good. Okay, hand is a little bit slow, but I think it's good enough. We have a sweeper on 6, which, I mean, sweepers that are more expensive than 4 mana typically get you killed, which is why this card hasn't seen that much play. But if they're not hyper aggressive and we manage to get Natrice down before we can resolve this, then we might be able to reanimate it. We already have 3 Snowlands. And I say Fabled Passage as Snowland. I mean, it's going to fetch Snow-Covered Island or Swamp. So best draw is probably just untap land, so we can go Tome on 2 and try to smooth out our draw. Opponent is on a mulligan, so we take these. Just gonna chill out and wait for them to make their decision. Not really much we can do. I don't know what's been going on today, guys. Okay. And decision made. Get the ice tunnel down. And we'll see what you got, bud. Mountain Fervent Champion. Looking at my ice tunnel. Okay, Fabled Passage. Alright. Into Ugin. Nice. I also have the passage. So again, another land would be good, so this last one will come in untapped. On the draw, I don't think we can keep this, but on the play, because of these tomes, it might be able to smooth itself out. And if we're against blue, okay, blue-red, so maybe still aggressive. Let's crack this boy. Fetch an island. I want double blue before double black. Alright, cool. The entire Fabled Passage draw. Alright, that resolved really easy. So I have to keep in mind that if I want to scry, I have to thin my deck first, because whatever I scry to the top will technically be shuffled back in. Well, I mean, I could also just wait and then into the Royal. Okay, so what I was going to say is I don't actually need to crack this, but sure. Let's just do it to thin the deck. I gotta enunciate some more. Sorry, guys. Alright, and we'll take a scry. I mean, if they're playing into the Royal, they probably have big things. So we're going to keep that there. Kind of wishing this Atrice was a... the other 4-drop I run, Solemn Simulacrum, so we can ramp a bit harder. But it's all good. They're going to go for a Cultivate, putting them at 4 mana. So, alright. We'll go for this. Crack it again, get a bit more blue. And we're going to go for Tome into Foretelling Saw It Coming. I want this in the Foretell zone because I think later on the opponent's going to have play patterns where I'm going to need to counter a thing and ideally draw a card afterwards. They're not aggressive, so Blood might not be very good, but if they are just on Temur Ultimatum and we don't get the counter one, then... Oh, they're not on Temur Ultimatum, they're on Temur Turns. Well, that deck actually sometimes runs Obosh, I'm correct. So, I'm not sure. Maybe they are on Ultimatum. That's not a land. Let's put a Upkeep Stop, because I need to hit a land. But, I mean, I can take the draw and then hold open Saw It Coming, so we're not going to scry. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to draw now in case I find the land. That's actually not a bad draw for later on in the game. I just need to build up my mana. And we don't hit freaking Graven Lore. Okay. That's a lot of gas. 36 land deck. I mean, we did thin it quite a bit because of all these passages. The triple Fabled Passage mana base. Alright, opponent's going to ramp really hard at this dragon that we do have to answer. And it's not like we don't have spot removal. We definitely do. We can't foretell this on our turn either. We have to hold up Saw It Coming. Because here they can go into Ultimatum. They choose to Cultivate. Can they still Ultimatum? They go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then play a line for turn 7. Yes, they can. I think they're just thinning their deck beforehand. So what are we going to see? Can they even do it the way they tapped? This would have to go for double red or double green, and this would have to go for double red or... No, this is going for double blue. They actually can't Ultimatum. They go for a Beanstalk Giant. I mean, we'll counter that, right? And we'll take a Scry. If I see a Heartless Act, I will keep it. Oh man, that deals with the dragon, but it leaves us open for a turn. And it doesn't advance our mana. No, it's not good enough. Heartless Act lets us do something else too. Alright. As to main. So now what? Atrice, hold open Saw It Coming. I can only hold open Saw It Coming so much more. They're going to smack me with this dragon. If that was untapped land, I'd feel pretty good about playing Tome and then holding open Saw It Coming. I mean, we're about to get some life. And if they attack, they're going to have Ultimatum mana. I don't think I can afford to do nothing here. Like, I just don't. So we're going to get some cards played. I really need mana, so I'm going to foretell this. And I just have to hope they don't have it. Because if they just take their turn and hit me for 4, then they just play around Ultimatum 2. They just play around the counter magic, and I'm just slowly losing to this dragon. which I do have to tap out to kill anyways. Okay, they cycle Triome, that's a good sign. Based on them playing Beanstalk Giant, they either had mistapped or they just didn't have the ultimatum, which is something that we banked on. Alright, can they ultimatum off this treasure? I don't think so. Yeah, alright, so we're gonna scry. We might need the life too. Island, it's not horrible. We do need an answer though, but I think I have to keep advancing the old mana. Sorry. So, let's be greedy. Let's go for a Trees, draw 2 cards, hold open both of these tomes and saw it coming. Hope my opponent goes wider on the board, wipe it, and then try to get the Trees back on an ETB. And they fire Prophecy. That's not horrible. Don't forget, I'm about to go up to 12, and in like 3 turns, I'm going to go up to 16. And we still get the cards here. Opponent's cycling like crazy. Whether it be with Ketria Triome or the Fire Prophecy. And we have some good catch-up once we deal with whatever they're doing. Like, we're in a decent spot. We just have to live a bit longer. All things considered. Mana base looking very snowy. Give me these. Yeah, you thought I was gonna take that. Well, at least we also have Disruption, which is probably never gonna hit anything. And there are my lands, guys. We found them. Okay. What's it gonna be? If they attack with Dragon, it's fine. I take 4. Okay. Opponent has like 1,000,000 mana. Actually 13 to be exact. And they do nothing. Okay, I'm going to put a stop here. I'm going to draw. Heartless Act, that's really good. I'm not going to take the Scry. I'm going to save it because I can emergency gain the life whenever I need to. Okay, so what's the plan? I need 2 mana for this, 2 mana for... I need 6 mana this turn. Can't really do anything with 7, so I'm going to just play cautiously and put this down tapped. I don't think the opponent can do anything to me, and I'm not going to tap out for Blood on the Snow just yet. Opponent's deck probably runs Adventure Creatures, so they're going to go attack. We're going to kill the dragon, and we finally find a Heartless Act. We're giving our opponent more mana, but, I mean, they already have enough mana to do whatever they want, pretty much. And if they want to fight a counter ward over this dragon, I'm more than happy. Okay, they let it go. If they don't do anything with the rest of their turn, we just draw 2 cards and chill. Ultimatum? No. And now we need to find some more counter magic. Like, no joke. And we have it in the deck. Did I bottom some? No, I didn't. How many Saw It Comings have I used? 2? Alright. Well, let's take a draw. Charge this tome up to 3 counters. And we might need the cards off this. But then again, we are getting a bunch of cards off the Graven Lore. Okay, I think I take the Scry and I just look for counter magic. Yeah, okay, good Scry. But we're going to keep this one around. Alright, there's all my land. I don't exactly want to cast this. I don't exactly just want to slam Ugin. So I think we're going to pass. Hold up Graven Lore and my Tome Draw. Opponent goes for an Ugin. I mean, Blood on the Snow actually deals with that, so we're okay. Maybe I should have Graven Lord in response, but I don't even think I want to be countering a Ugin at this point. Although the pluses can become a bit dangerous. We have the emergency life gain. Alright, let's Graven Lord up. Pay with all snow. Scry 5. In this spot, Graven Lore looks pretty strong. Okay, Scry 5, eh? We'll put these lands to the bottom. I don't think Drori's is going to hit, and we're going to take this negate. And 2 random cards. Nice. Those are actually pretty good. And we're going to draw again. Okay. There is another Juarez, and so I overdrew my hand. Maybe I shouldn't have done all that. But now we go for... They know we have this, so we're going to play it out. We go for a... Blood on the Snow. We'll blow up their Ugin. I guess we can pay with all that snow. It doesn't really matter. So I shouldn't have taken that draw off the tome. I actually need to find another Bloodchief's Thirst if this doesn't resolve. Okay, and we're gonna get this Atrice back because it's free. But I would have much preferred Nashiok because now we're gonna put 1 to 2 more cards in hand where, you know, okay, they go to Fire Prophecy again, probably just a cycle. Juarez is still dead because, well, treasures. Alright. And they're on 1 card and they're going to top deck another, and I have like a million counter spells. So we are pretty much chilling, but we do have to get past a couple more turns. So 1 or 2 cards. I don't think Nightmare's going to hit anything anymore. Barons isn't a bad draw. Alright, we're not going to Foretell, even though we have to discard 3. What do we get rid of? Juarez is not hitting anything. I think 1 of the Heartless Acts is fine. And probably another land. The snow one. Yeah, that seems good. We'll keep Crawling Barons because it can be a win con. Ultimatum. We're going to use all our mana here. I mean, opponent is just slamming these ultimatums now. That's all they really can do. So, Ugin. Ugin, and then we hold up Negate and push for Ugin Ultimate. Or do we just Simulacrum and Gravenlore? Let's Simulacrum and Gravenlore play it a bit slower. We have the draw a million, so we're not in the worst spot either. And we can start pumping this Baron's absolute worst case. But yeah, we're going to get another draw 3, and then we're going to draw another card for turn, so we're just gassed up to the sky. We need to find more counters, though. How many more ultimatums do you have? And the opponent scoops. Yeah, I don't think they can win from here, purely because we just see so many cards in a short span of time. And yeah, both the snow cards just absolutely showing off in this game. Good stuff. Alright guys, and we are back. So I really do like the shell that I have picked out for this deck. And I'm not sure that the snow version is better, but I'm not sure that it's worse, right? It's just different. Gravenlore is a really good draw spell, especially late in the game. It really helps you gas up and find exactly what you need. And it really shined in that teamer matchup where I needed counter spells, bottom 4 lands, hit a negate, try to find other counter magic. It's just really powerful in that regard. And Blood on the Snow is a board wipe that if you build your deck correctly, can accrue you card advantage as well. And I really liked both of the snow cards today. I'm not sure if they're better than just the typical control build I had laid out last time, but I do think it's worth exploring. So if you guys want to, again, deck list will be in the description down below as always. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.